So, Tom, thank you very much, from Land Shack, gave me some of this stuff to play with. He also gave me a switch and a power supply that are DIN capable. And I have this wicked idea. I'm going to take my Alta Labs outdoor access point. I'm going to mount it to this box. And I'm going to put it outside of my fence. I also have another box that the power supply is going to go into. And it's going to power the access point with this switch. However, gandering at this cable, I started noticing, how do I work with it? So I took off the sheath, looked at it many times, then I phoned him. Awesome support. I said, hey Tom, how do I do this? And he goes, oh, you just get a pair of these things and you cut it. And I said, Tom, it's very small. His response with, you'll get it. I have full faith in you. So I've been practicing. And I want to show you guys, and I want to do a bench test. So I'm going to not mount anything in the box, but I'm going to use the power supply and the switch and a cable and all the tools he sent me, and we're going to bench test this. What I mean by that is I'm going to struggle opening this up with about 1.5 feet hanging out. I'm going to use these cutters from Jonar Tools because they're very sharp. They're brand new, and they have a really fine tip on there. I'll take a picture and zoom in just so you guys can see. And I'm going to strip both ends, show you me doing this. As I cut it open for the first time, I thought, man, this is going to be hard, because the micro armor that's inside of this cable, this hybrid fiber cable, is really tiny. It's small. And the first time I cut it, I went, ha, broke the fiber. So I'm going to show you guys that. We're going to test it, see if I can do it properly. I went out and bought this $200 case to do this project. Tom did sponsor me and send me a bunch of products to show you guys, because there's lots of people out there that have barns, or they have cameras, or they have a gate on their property, but it's far away from the house, where you could run this and power a switch, some cameras, or maybe your gate. So that's the whole point of this series of doing fiber stuff like that. It's called hybrid fiber. So you got DC voltage from the power supply at your house, maybe a bigger one. This one's just a 60 watt just for demos and stuff like that, but you get a 120 watt version, and then send power down to your gate, camera, whatever you have there with this Singer cable. So, oh yeah, and I got gloves because I did some Googling. I did post something on Reddit, I think, saying, how do you guys spread and work with the micro armor without breaking the fibers? And a lot of guys said, use rubber gloves, which I have, some Milwaukee ones, and pull on it. Keep pulling on until it really stretches out, and then snip it. So I'm going to try that. But before I go, I'm going to let you know what I have here. So we have an access point from Alta Labs, their brand new outdoor version. We have a pair of fiber cutter stripper wires from Tom in a kit. I'll put the link to the kit below. This is all you need to do what this job is either, except for these. So get a pair of these nice side cutters. A nice cleaver. And I did bring this over because Jonar Tools sent me this, and I wanted to try it and see if it would work on this cable. Some alcohol wipes, some alcohol included with this kit. And Tom said to me, how are you going to finish the end of that cable? And I said, well, what do you suggest? And he goes, most people aren't going to go out and buy a high-end fusion splicer just to do maybe a 1 or 2 end job. So I'm going to send you some ends. The ends are mechanical. They work very good. Very easy to use also. So you don't have to go to school to learn these. I'll show you guys all that. But he sent me some ends for this multi-mode cable. And yeah, that's it. So I'm going to spin all this around, get set up, do some trimming of cable, and you guys are going to watch. And then we'll plug it all in and see if we get network connectivity, see if everything works. Okay, let's put on some gloves. Oh, I don't like wearing gloves, but I'm only going to use gloves for pulling on this, and then I'm going to take it off so I can feel my fingers here. So let's go like this, actually. Let's take this off. Let's cut about 1 foot off of here, maybe a 1.5 feet. Let's see here. So this tool right here, the CST 1900, should cut this. Also, you could use an X-Acto knife. You just have to go around it once with an X-Acto knife and then kind of snap it. You'll see me do it here with this tool, but apparently we're supposed to be able to go like this and put it on here like this. Go around a couple times, right? And it kind of feels easier. There's a line on there now. Oh, there it goes. It snapped. Did you hear that? There we go. Should be able to pull this off. Hey, there's all our mess. Now, Tom does include scissors with this, so I'm going to open these and use them. Let's cut this Kevlar off for right now. When I do the final video, I'm going to keep some Kevlar so we have something to tie to, but for right now, just splitting this and working with it so I can have more visible wire here. I'm going to cut this off. Oh, and that cuts like butter. Holy. Easy. Okay, then we have our wire and stuff in here, so let's unravel that. Feels like just fabric. Not that I can feel with my fingers, but it feels like fabric. And we got some memories in here to have some structure, integrity. So let's cut those off. One. I believe Tom also sent a tool to cut this open, so I'm going to grab that. This tool right here is for cutting fiber sheath, outsiding and stuff like that. So let's grab this little guy. Oh, this is so hard to do with rubber gloves on because you can't feel anything and everything's so grippy. So let's grab this middle one right here and put it around this fiber. Let's go right here. And we just go around this once. Oh, I already felt it click, so it's already broke. There we go. There's our break. Pull this off. Very, very easy. We have our fiber scissors to cut this. Okay. Cut this back. Okay. Now, this is the hard part. This stuff is called micro armor. It is very, very, very tiny. But, as everybody says, you can pull on this, because there's fiber inside of this, 2 strands. I don't know if you can see it, but they're there. It's probably moving around. Sorry. There's two multi-mode strands in here. But they all say, wear some gloves that have fabric all over them, and pull on this right here, and then we'll be able to cut it. So I'm going to try this. So technically, we're going to pretend we're already in the box and we're ready to go. But they say, grab this and just pull it gently. Oh, and it's working, it's working, it's working. Look at that. Okay, I'm going to do it a little bit more. Okay, and then we should be able to take these things and cut this. Right. That's really hard to see. Oh, I can't see it. I'm grabbing my glasses. Hold on. Got my glasses. Now let's see. That's a little bit better. So we should be able to go like this. Pull it apart more. Try not to cut the fibers, but alright, that's it. Gloves are off. Can't do this with gloves on. There we go. Gloves off. Made my life a lot easier. And there are our 2 fibers. Yeah? And they're not broken. Woohoo! Now, when you do this in the box, or when I do this in the box, I'm going to put some heat shrink on here, on this part. There's going to be heat shrink right here. And there's going to be heat shrink right here to protect this. Okay, so we have our fiber done. We have our DC power wire ready to go. I'm going to show you guys how to put mechanical ends on. But before I did that, I had to print some instructions. in these instructions, the key instruction and the key point to this is this mark right here. This is the 10 millimeter mark, very, very familiar number on here, I'll show you where it is, that we need to cut. So we have our fiber jacket. This would be our, the heck is that stuff called? The plastic material. I always forget what it's called. And then this will be our raw fiber that will go into these ends. Pretty easy to do. We do need a VFL so we can see light, and we need an adapter so we can clip onto these ends. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward. So I'm going to do a couple and show you guys. So Tom's kit includes all these things, even comes with alcohol, and these strippers to do this work. The only thing you'll really need to get is one of these. Maybe I'll message Tom and say, hey, maybe you can get some of these and include it in the kit, because it's nothing special. It's just a light that you guys could see because it's at the 650 nanometer mark. Even says that it's on there. And this one's a 1 milliwatt, so it's not really that powerful. But these are also included too, forgot. You need these because you got to clean the fiber. So all this stuff's included in a really inexpensive kit to get you guys going. So let's get some of the stuff out of the way that we don't need anymore. We do need these. Put these here. Our cleaver, really nice one too. Pull it out of its protective case. The only thing it doesn't have is a wastebasket, so when you're doing this stuff, make sure you put some tape on the desk or pick it up. I have a little bin beside me here. I'm going to put that stuff into. Okay, don't catch your hand in there, that hurts. So we'll grab a couple of these. We need 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, he gave me 2 extras. Okay. Let's set up the VFL. We'll put this adapter on here. We'll put the protective pieces for the adapter back in the bag so we don't lose them. Ooh, what a stubborn bag. Grab a piece of our wipe for our alcohol. I wonder if these are all split into little pieces. Let's see. Oh yeah, they are. They're just individual sheets. Nice. I like that. I like that. Okay, we got our alcohol. That should work. Make sure it. Yep, we got alcohol. So let's put that over here. Put this on our VFL. Nice and smoothly, just like that. Okay. So on our cleaver, I will try to take a picture, but on our cleaver we have our strap flap that holds the fiber, and there's a whole bunch of little markings on here, and these markings represent where this is going to go. So put this over here, take one of these out, what do we got? We got our multi-mode fibers. So let's do the blue one. I'll move this out of the way so it's just in form here. So let's do the blue one first. We'll put our cap on. There's also a rubber sleeve because this is thin wire or thin fiber, so we need to put this on here so when we put the cap on, this thing grips it right here. There's these open up, they're like little jaws. We'll put the fiber in there, these clamp together and hold the fiber, so it's not going to hold the fiber off the ground 500 feet or anything like that. It's not meant to hold or tug a car. It's just it's there to make it so the fiber doesn't fall out of this guy. Okay, so this pointy end goes down. I don't know, the camera's not going to focus on it because they're really small pieces. Okay, pointy end goes down like this. Okay, push that all the way down here so that way it doesn't come off. And we have our end. Let's take our cap off. Make sure when you take the cap off, put it into your VFL right away so you get no dust in there. Okay, and if we turn this on, we should see light. You guys might not see it, but it's on my hand over here because it's going through it. Okay? So, blue. We need to take off some of the sheath that's on here, and then the acrylic. What is it? Did I have it in here? Yeah, Aculate. Aculate. That's what it's called. Aculate. I always keep forgetting that word, but one day I'll just get it memorized. So we'll open up our cutters. Then we'll use the second notch down, and we'll use just little 1-inch pieces until we get to our destination here to get rid of this piece off here. So we go here, pull it off. There's our sheath. We'll go a little bit more, pull it off. Now, some people will say you need lots of this right here. Some people you know. But the main reason that you really need to focus on is when you put this fiber in here, this has to go across both of these little pads. There's two little rubber pads right here that grip the fiber. So when you pull the lever down and you push this in to cut it, it's gripping the fiber so that we can get a clean cleave. You don't, I mean, if you do this a bunch of times, you'll notice that you're only going for 10 mils. So you don't need lots hanging out. So once in a while, after doing this many times, you'll figure out that you only need maybe 1 inch to get from 10 mils and across from here. And I'll measure that out, maybe take a photo and put that in the video for us. But for right now, I've did maybe 1.25 inches. Okay. Pull this scrap off. Now we need to take off the Aculate. Okay. So we'll hold on to our cutters like this. Very, very, very gently. Squeeze, and we'll pull it, and then you'll see all that comes on there. Sorry, my camera's not going to do a good job of showing that, but it's tiny right there. And I usually do 2 just in case, because if you look, you probably can't see it, but on the fiber there's little bits of chunks that are still on there. So I'm going to do it one more time. Okay, then we take our cloth, put some alcohol in there. And we'll go like this. Put the fiber in there. And we cleaned it. Okay. Next, it says in the instructions to put this at 10 mils. So we open up our cleaving piece here. I'm going to see if I can do this upside down. Might not work too well, but maybe. Okay, we have our fiber. We need to put it into here. This is hard to do upside down so you guys can see here. We have to put the edge of this piece right here at the edge of 10 mils. Okay, so go down to here. I don't think that's the right one to hold on to it because I am looking at this and the camera at the same time. There we go. Okay, and then we'll push it down and then push forward, and this should cut. Hold on to this. Did it cut? Yes. There's the fiber in my hand. You can't see it, but that is my fiber. I'm going to put this into my bucket off to the side here. Now that we have this, we don't want to touch anything. We want to basically pull this out and then stick it into our thing here. Okay. We now have our fiber and it's ready to go into our end here. Let's make sure that we have this on here properly. Okay, so we should be able to stick this in. The light will show up, and then apparently, as we're sticking this in, we push this forward. And the light will go out. Do we have light on the other end of our fiber that we just did on this piece? You betcha. There it is right there. So that is working. Now what we need to do is pull this guy up here. Put this little rubber guy in here, gentle, very gentle, into here like this. It just slides in there. And I push our cap over, screw that on. Just like that. We'll pull this out. Make sure we put this on here. So we just do this a bunch more times now. I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then we will test it. Okay, I have both ends done. You're probably going to notice that this one's a little bit shorter, maybe by ½ an inch. But my first one, yep, I'll admit it that I didn't do as good as I should have. This one's about an inch or and a half too short, the white one. But I'm learning. This is the whole point. I wanted to show you guys that I did it. Now, I'm going to clean up my workspace, and I'm going to show you guys connecting the power supply, getting it online, and going from there. So, let's clean up. Turn off my VFL. Make sure it's off. Nope. Put the caps back on. You'll notice that I put the caps back on our multi-mode ends. We're going to need this. So we do need a power cord, one of our devices. So this is our power supply. Thank you very much, Tom, for the power supply. This one's 60 watts, 44 to 57 volts. It's DIN rail, but I'm just going to set it on the desk to show that, see if our fiber cable works, see if we got a link. We have also a nice little switch that Tom sent us. The QT-G4P. I'm reading it upside down. But this is a nice little tiny PoE DIN switch. Right. On the top of this we have two power positives. We have two positives and two negatives. They're tied together. But the nice thing about this thing, I believe, is we can go like this. Oh, nope. This version doesn't have a top come off, but that's okay. This one has the top that comes off for the switch, so we can change this and put our cable on there. We'll do that. So we have a simple PoE switch, 4 PoEs, and some SFPs. So let's put our transceiver, this guy, into here. Put that in there like that. Okay. So, first things first, let's do power at one end of the desk. We need some wire strippers. I have a pair here, some Joner blue ones. We'll pick an end here. So this end will be the power, which one's the short one? We'll do power on this end, just because I can. Make sure we don't break these. A little bit of red, a little bit of black. Make sure that these things are open. I'm going to go on the outsides of these just to give us more space. So we'll go black for negative. We'll tighten that up. And then red. Positive. Make sure that that's open. Maybe a little bit more. Okay. Tighten that up. Okay, now we've got that end done. Let's do this end. So, on here, this end goes in here like this. On the front of this, it tells us our polarity. So, this side is positive. Okay. Push this into here. Tighten it up. Let's do negative. We only need to do maybe 1/4 of an inch, just a little bit shy of that, to put this wire in here. We want to make sure that we push these all the way in, but we also want to make sure we don't have any wire hair sticking out, just in case we can get some shorts. Okay, so just like that. There's no wire hanging out of here. See if you guys can see that there. No wire hanging out of there for shorts. Now we have a switch. Okay. Now let's plug in our pieces here. Put one into there. One into here. Cross my fingers that I don't pull and yank on that. Okay. Now we need to on the other end right here, that's out of the camera here, sorry. This we need to put into a coupler. Now one side is transmit, one side is receive. So we need to match those. This cable is not going to cooperate. So I'm going to put a piece of tape on here. I don't want to break our end here. I'm going to plug this in, and then we will connect and see if we get any link. Well, there's no smoke. We have a power light on the switch right here, which is getting power from the power supply. Now, what I need to do is get link activity and see if we get some link. One moment. Okay, I had to do some troubleshooting. The SFP module that was sent to me from Tom works great. But I had a whole bunch of other ones because I didn't have a pair. Tom said, they should all just match up and one should work for you. That's true. I just had to find the right one. So now that I have link, there's actually a light on here, and we have link through this cable, which is verifying that I have network connectivity. It is all successfully working. It took me about 20 minutes to try some different transceivers that are going to handshake and work with this. It's only 1 gig. But now that I have them handshaking working, we have fiber. I just set up a simple cable, multi-mode cable from my rack off to the left over there. Off to the desk, taped here so it's not going to pull on our fibers here. But it comes from my switch into our cable, into this nice little green, this little PoE switch right here. Now, if I plug something into here, I should get connection. Let's plug in an access point. This guy. Okay. And make this cable so it's a little bit nice, clean. We'll plug it into port 1. There we go. It's coming online. Hopefully you guys can see it. Maybe it's blue. It's transmitting data. This will start flashing. Yeah, see? Once it's done calling home, it'll come back online and go blue and say that it's got network connection. And it does, online. So we successfully tested doing a network connection with hybrid fiber, this power supply, and this switch. I'm going to call that successful. The only thing I failed at was making one of these fiber lines short. Now, remember, this was just a test to set up on the desk to see if it's going to be hard to pull the protective sheathing off of that fiber cable. Next, I'm going to cut all these ends off, pull these multi-mode LC connectors off because they are multi-use. I think you can go up to about 25 to 30 times, maybe more. Just going to make sure they're clean and put the caps on, put them back in their baggies. You can use them multiple times. So I'm going to pull all this stuff away now, and I'm going to probably set up outside, if it's not raining by the time I go to do this, a cable to test this access point outside on the big case. Success? Yes. Thanks very much, Tom, for sending me the equipment. This is great. This is going to help out people who want to run gates or cameras or access points in a property where they don't want to run AC power because that's expensive over a distance, where they can just run this piece. And yeah, all the products for all this stuff will be linked down below, even the access point, because Altalabs makes great outdoor access points. And we'll go from there. Questions, comments, suggestions? If maybe you have a suggestion how you do this kind of stuff, Micro armored wire is kind of hard to work with, but practice makes perfect. So like and subscribe. Thanks very much for watching.